You probably have Sun-Mars aspect in your birth chart, or at least know someone who has those aspects. But do you know what it truly means? Hi everyone, this is Zoée from Beyond Astrology, and today we're gonna talk in depth about Sun-Mars aspect. So the conjunction, the sextile, the trine, the square, and the opposition. So if you like this video, you can like, subscribe, activate the notification, comment and share. So let's begin. Sun conjunct Mars. Those people are highly motivated, driven, and strong-willed to achieve big things. They have a competitive spirit and like to win. Those people are usually tougher than most people, like they don't give up easily and they are usually hard to defeat in any kind of competitions. The people with this aspect, when you see them, they exhibit a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of energy. But the problem is that they can have too much energy, so they need to channel this energy into something, like for example sports, but they might not be so good at strategy sports, they're better in something that needs strength and explosivity. Or in business, they are usually good business opponents. The people who don't have a channel to put this energy into, usually they will want to search for fights in any situation, even if there isn't a disagreement. So the risk is to really be aggressive and look for a fight, or attract people who want to fight you when you don't want. They usually jump headfirst into something without much thinking or preparation before. They usually just follow their desire and their impulsion. So usually they're very aggressive and impulsive people who don't think much. So there's a risk of self-damage because they don't think a lot before acting. The outcome can be potentially dangerous. It's people who have presence and exhibit a lot of self-confidence and courage, and they're actually courageous. But sometimes the self-confidence they show, actually they don't have it inside, but they seem like they're confident. They need self-expression. It's people who are very passionate about asserting themselves, and they will fight at all costs to show who they are, show their identity. They have good leadership skills in general. Once they decide they're right about something, they're not afraid to go alone for it, no matter what. It's people who are quite stubborn, and once they find something is part of them, like an opinion for example, they will fight for it at all costs, no matter how wrong they are. If they lose something, they will really take it personally, because for them, a defeat on something is a defeat on themselves, on their personality. So they need to learn to simply detach from this kind of limiting belief. Even if they can seem confident, inside they are usually very insecure people who does everything to prove themselves and show the other people that they are powerful, strong, but it's just a kind of shell to hide their insecurity. In some cases, it happens that those people are not highly active or energetic, but they will be certainly very confrontational and they will love conflict and fighting. Because the Sun and Mars are both masculine planets, people who have this aspect can seem very masculine in their attitude. So even if it's a woman, she will exhibit more masculine characteristic. It doesn't mean she can't also be feminine. It means she will exhibit things that we usually see on men. In love, it's usually people who love to chase the other person, to conquer the heart of the other person. So they will love this part of chasing and flirt, but once they conquer the person, usually they will get tired and easily bored. My advice for those people is that they need to develop some harmless movement they can do when they get angry. Because their angriness is very strong, they need to release it in a harmless way. And they also need to observe themselves to find the origin of the drive they have inside that make them mad, because it has always a cause deep inside our subconscious. It's people who are very explosive and very good at initiating, but they might be less good in endurance and stamina. With this temperament, it's usually people who are very good for anything related to sport, military, and those kind of jobs which there is a lot of danger and adrenaline. On a medical astrology point of view, this aspect can give a tendency to have fever, especially when it's in Aries. But it's also people who are usually able to handle higher temperature than others, because Mars is close to their Sun, they're already used to this high temperature of Mars. This aspect can also create a super abundance of energy. It's people who are really full of energy, and usually they can have very good health through their life. But the risk is that when acting impulsively, they can cut themselves, hurt themselves, broke some bones, hurt their eyes, and those kind of injuries come on with Mars. Sun sextile Mars. They are generally very enterprising people. They have great energy and vigorous mind, and they usually have a lot of store of energy that they can draw upon when they need. They are generally strong and fit, so they're usually attracted by sport. Those people are easy to take action to realize their core purpose, which is their sun. But they must be careful to not fall into taking the easy way or falling into stagnation, because the sextile can be sometimes too comfortable and supporting. They usually do well in groups, but also alone, because they have this initiative and motivation, drive to do things simply by themselves. In general, they will be very healthy because they have good muscle strength, they like to do exercise, and they also recover very well from exercise. In general, they have a strong libido, and they are generally sexually attractive for others. When they face more stable situations, it's at this moment they need to motivate themselves to not fall into the laziness, because with the sextile it's easy. But in times that they have difficult situation, they can easily take from their store of energy to fight. They do everything with a lot of assertiveness and enthusiasm, and without great effort. It's like things come naturally, but not as much as the trine. They don't like to stay still because they need to continuously release their energy, but they're also able to be patient and contain their energy when needed. They have a strong sense of fairness and justice, and they will always defend their friend if they're close to them. But sometimes their friend can kind of become part of them, and they will really enter into fight for things that are not about them but about others. So an attack to their friend is like an attack to them, so they will react accordingly. They are usually motivated to take new action and they want to do it, but they also struggle to separate from discomfort and stability. But once they decide to take a decision, usually it's easier for them to act. Like I said before, they are a good team worker, but they also do very well alone. They don't need others to be effective, but they can work in harmony with others. But it's not easy for them to adjust their goals to other people's goals. So my advice for them is to seek people who have the same vision than you, the same kind of goals. Like this, you don't face this conflict. Those people, they respond to challenges with usually a lot of confidence and enthusiasm. Usually, they should enjoy quite harmonious relationship because they're very warm, charming, and also honest people. So it's easy usually to make new friends for them. When they're young, they usually got a quite harmonious and good relationship with their dad, but this also depends on other aspect with Sun and Saturn, so look at it, it may not be the case all the time. They have good health, but they need to do sport, they need to release this energy, if not they can feel restless. Sun square Mars. This aspect creates a lot of rash and aggressive aggression in their life, and this can play into two different ways. A more conscious and a more unconscious way. It's people who may be very self-assertive towards others, and they may look for fight at any occasion. Like, they are quick to see a fight in a situation that is completely innocent. So what they need to do is be slower and try to understand and communicate with people to really understand what's behind. Is there really a fight, or is it just an innocent situation? On the other hand, it's people who are highly motivated, skillful and hardworking, and they are good at getting things done. So this is a big advantage. They can start many projects with incredible initiative. Unfortunately, it's usually people who experience a lot of pain and trauma in their life. Even if those people can seem very sexy, confident, and courageous, usually inside them it's different. They usually struggle with self-esteem, addiction, pain, and they struggle to manage their anger. What those people need to learn the most is to manage their anger. Is really the key to success for them. So what they need to do is to put all this fiery energy into work, into project, into something creative that they can express themselves. They need to be doing something almost all the time to put all this energy into something, because they are full of energy, and if they don't channel it, it can be very destructive. This aspect creates an excess of hot energy in those people, and the problem is that it probably influenced their childhood into making them hyperactive, and they probably suffer things like depression, loneliness, and alienation. They're often overexcited and jumpy. It's people who can feel like they always need to run the show. But they need to understand that they don't even need to run the show or even to participate to it. Like if there's a fight, they don't need to get involved into it. They need to learn to accept an equal role with others because usually they want to be the leader, but sometimes others know better than us and we simply need to let others do. It's people who are often unwilling to compromise. They can often explode at the slightest frustration, even if they were completely peaceful, because they have a very quick temper and explosive energy. On the other hand, those people have the attractiveness, the leadership skills, the motivation and the strength to compete and win in almost anything. They often make great achievement in fields like sport, government, military, and anything creative. So like I told you before, the other case is that they are not conscious of their own angriness and their own provocation. So what happens is that they will project that on others and that it will attract aggressive people who want to fight them when they don't even want to do it. So if those people notice that they are often attacked or provoked without any reason, they might ask themselves, does it come from myself? Because often the problem comes from them and they might provoke people without even noticing it. Sun trine Mars. They are very vigorous and self-assertive people, and they need to express this energy into sport, if not they can feel restless. They often seem charismatic and powerful, which makes them easy to find a partner. This aspect can indicate that those people, they can easily reach their core purpose without much obstacles. But depending on the other parts of the chart, it can make those people want to do unhealthy passions and things that can potentially harm them because they have this deep desire, but sometimes it can be into things that might harm them. They have a strong need to be themselves and to do things in their own way. They usually listen to other people's advice, unlike in the conjunction and in the square, but only if they find it correct. And if they accept to follow it, they will often tell that it's their choice to follow it. Okay, I listen to your advice, but it's my choice to listen. They have really this need to show their identity. When they are young, they are often given as much responsibility as possible for their own life. And it's people who really need to know who and what they are. They usually really enjoy competing with others. So sport like athletics are very good for them. But sometimes if they don't like sport, they might still enjoy competing through some games like mental games, mental skills game, etc. They can work very hard, but they prefer approaching any activity they do as a game. They are very good at what they like, at what they're passionate, but in things that they don't like, they usually don't do well. They really need to have this passion for things. Those people, when they get excited about an idea and they start to take action towards it, they will naturally attract what they need to get to where they want, because this is the natural flow of the trine. They have natural creative abilities. They have an harmony between self-expression and impulse, so it's very nice for being an actor, a musician, an artist, anything creative. On the other hand, because every aspect has a more positive and a more negative side, they usually can be lazy for things they don't like, because they only want to do what they like. They want the passion of Mars. They can lack self-discipline because they only want to do what they like. They usually do better in a group as a leader because they want to have power over themselves. Sometimes it seems like they want power over others, but they actually seek this power on themselves, so they want to control the whole group. They need to be careful to not be overconfident over things and neglect other people's advice. They admire people who have strength, courage, and self-confidence, and when they're a kid, they will usually want to develop those qualities as they get older. Sun opposition Mars. It's people who tend to understand themselves through opposition to others, a bit like the Sun opposition Moon, but this is different. It will be more through competition. But they need to find a way to do it productively, because if not, they will always end up being in conflict with everyone. They are more confrontational and argumentative than in the square. In their youth, they might often face anger from other people and attack from others, but they need to understand that it's a reflection of what they have inside them. I don't say it's their fault, but I say that they often project this part of anger on others, and they need to understand that it's part of their own personality also. Those people love to compete. They usually love to do a little competition with people through a game to see who is better at something. It's people who are always able to play seriously, but sometimes they put too much importance into the competition, and they need to not forget to play fairly way and to respect their opponent. My advice for them is that if they expand this idea of taking life as a kind of competition or a game, in any field that they are opposed to someone, they will do really well because they have this drive in any competition. Those people have a lot of courage and confidence inside themselves, but sometimes they can become rash and self-centered. They are filled with hot and radiant energy, but they need something to put this energy into. Those people, they have a very big willingness to live their life how they want, not how other people want them to live their life. So it's good because they have this ability to go against the current of others, of the pressure of others put on themselves. It's really important for them to find an authentic path to follow because they will not settle for something stable and simple and comfortable, but they will rather choose something authentic that they really like, even if it's quite unstable. These people were often admired by others because of their strength and their determination. They do very well in careers that they need adrenaline, so anything a bit dangerous or also sportive, they will do really well. But they need to harness this rage into something, if not they will just explode and it will be harmful for themselves and other people. So they must find something to put their anger into, so it can be a sport or any activity that necessitates a lot of energy. If they try to suppress this energy, it won't actually disappear, it will just keep accumulating and they will feel this kind of repressed anger, and it's at this moment that it becomes dangerous because it can explode. It's people who need contact with others to find themselves. So it's through this opposition to others that they understand themselves, because Mars is this opposition with others, and then the Sun is themselves, is this light that make them understand who they are. Before they learn the consequence of their action, they usually get involved into a lot of fight and arguments, but this is until they learn to control their anger and to also understand how their attitude influences others. My advice for them is that they need to think more about the feeling of others and the effect they have on others, and this will help them achieve what they want without all those arguments and drama. So here is the end of the video. I hope you like it. I really put all my knowledge about those aspects for you to understand yourself better or understand others better. And if you like it, again, you can like, subscribe, activate the notification, comment and share. And I really love when you comment because I love to reply your questions, and if you have any thoughts, you can just share to me. I'm pleased to read. And that's it. So see you soon for another video, and